everybody, and welcome back to Unscripted. I'm Big Mama.
I'm QD.
And I'm Love. And today we're going to be talking about breaking generational curses and generational wealth. So, have y'all seen They Clone Tyrone on Netflix?
Yeah, I love
Yes,
that
I
movie
love that
actually.
movie.
hmm
It was a good movie. And so I think it ties into our topic because in the movie, the government was cloning everybody in the hood, right? And so they were bringing them back into the hood, but they weren't bringing them back as different people. They were going through the same thing, same traumas. And so after watching that, I was like, Then I listened to Erica Badu, Tyrone.
Hey, hey,
You're going to better call Tyrone. Y'all
yes,
know the song. And so I was
Yes.
thinking, like, the way she was talking about Tyrone in the song, like how he ain't had no job, couldn't use a phone, all this stuff. And
had her
so,
right in the back seat, and
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
some
so
people
I was,
crazy for that, but yeah,
and so I was thinking, like, the government doesn't need our DNA to clone us. All they need is an environment, a group of people, and all
yeah,
these negative trends, violence, drugs, and they can just
yeah,
produce people, the same type of
The
people.
same way.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
yeah.
And they
That's
and
actually a deep way of thinking about that. That is
hmm
actually.
That's why I was like, oh, that kind of ties into what we're talking about
Yeah.
today. Because
Cause notice how he didn't even meet his mom. I'm sorry, back on the
mm-mm,
movie. He didn't meet his mom. Just
mm-hmm,
turned out to find out that his mother was just a machine in the
right,
back room. So yeah,
right.
and then yeah, that was messing with him mentally. Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow.
I mean, and really, it's deeper shit behind that if you want to keep it a band because who brought drugs into the hood?
The government.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, they did
saying?
it
And
because they
they,
did it. If you look at it, they did it because it was becoming uh rising city, like a rising area. And once
mm-hmm,
they start seeing certain
Yep.
minorities
change.
start doing
Mm-hmm.
good and
Right.
start what is it, progressing and stuff,
Yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
that's when they come in and they're like, oh yeah, well, let's throw a wrench in that
I mean, it
plan.
was
Let's
definitely to
say
hold us back. You know what I'm
Same thing
saying?
they
And I
hmm
think,
did with our
well,
Black
Black Wall
Wall
Street.
Street.
yep,
Yeah.
hmm
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So when you bring it up, when you put it in that perspective, like I think that is extremely understandable because yeah, why? Of course they're gonna do that. Of
Mm-hmm.
course they're gonna do that. Of course they're gonna because that stops they hustle.
Right.
So let's throw drugs in here and let's keep the same
hmm
routine, the same issue going over
Music,
and
Mm-hmm.
and
over
listen
and
to
over
certain
and over
music
and over. Yeah,
because
Same
certain music,
if
you
in
know
music.
what
all
I'm
their
saying?
music they're talking about their thugs, they're shooting this, they're
Mm-hmm.
That's what
they're
they see in the
The
doing this
hood.
for
glor
money.
Yeah, they're
hmm
glorifying the negative trends in the neighborhood or in that environment.
hmm
And so of course people are just gonna continue to gravitate to it, continue to
Well, they have to. I
mm-hmm.
mean, be honest. They have to. When you stay in certain neighborhoods and you're involved in something in certain things, like of course you have to stay like that because that's
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people it's a way of staying safe. For a lot of people it's a way of continuing to make money to take care of
Right.
their families.
Right.
And we all know that the objective was to get the black man out of their household.
That's true.
hmm
That's
You know
exactly
what I'm
what
Oh
they
yeah,
saying?
did,
that
and then
that
they continue
that
it
if
with
y'all
the
ever
They
look up,
continue
welfare,
it.
government
if y'all
assistance.
ever
Mm-hmm.
read, A Thousand Years a Slave, it actually says that in there. It's like how you can keep the slave mentality
Mm-hmm.
without actually making them stay a
Isn't
slave. You
that
know what I mean? And if you do it right,
the Jim Crow laws?
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
it's a yeah, it's an actual book on how to literally. It's called A Thousand Years a Slave. It's a book,
Okay.
and I think you can actually listen to it on YouTube as well. Um, and let me see who it's written by.
Isn't that a movie also?
It is.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a movie,
Um,
but
It's a
and
movie
what's her name? Janelle Monae. She was in a movie. She was
about
living a regular
slavery.
life at first.
Yeah.
What was it called? Do you know what it's called?
Yes.
She lived a regular life, and then somehow she ended up down south and ended up
oh no,
involved in
you're talking. I know
slavery.
what you're talking about. You're talking
I
about when they
forgot
was
the
actually
name of the
kidnapping. They was
movie.
kidnapping. Yeah, they was
And
kidnapping
it
the
ended up not even being like
But it
was it like
wasn't
a
back in
game they were
time.
playing?
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't even a game. They were literally
it
taking
was
all
like
the
role
wealthy
play.
and
Yeah, role
no, it was
play.
a. It wasn't role play. It was actually all the wealthy black um uh artists, writers, stock market people, anybody that was successful and black, they
They would
stole them,
kidnap
they
them.
kidnapped them, and they threw them in the plantation, and they were literally making them slaves, and nobody knew about it. The thing is, it was behind a reenacting camp.
Reenactment. That's what it is.
Yes,
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
it
they
at.
was
were
That's
behind. It was
reenactment.
reenacting
behind one
slavery.
of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was behind the reenacting camp, but they were actually
Mhm.
putting them through slavery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember. Yes,
I forgot about that for a second. But yeah, and I feel like that definitely ties into today's topic. You know what
it
I'm saying?
does.
I mean, when you only know what you know, I mean, with the exception of that movie, we gotta figure out what that movie is with Janelle Monáe. That it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But
You
even
got your
aside,
laptop, QD. Can you look up the name right quick
Yeah.
so we can do that
yeah,
too?
but I definitely feel like it ties into uh generational curses
Yes.
for sure. Curses that we don't even know that we're a part of. I mean, to be honest with you, generational curses can go as deep as we could possibly take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can go into being predators and sexual abuse,
Mhm.
It's
bad
called
financial
antebellum.
literacy.
Antebellum.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Annabellum,
Mhm.
Antebellum.
yes.
Antebellum.
Antebellum. Y'all go check that
Yeah.
out.
It was a
And
good movie. Yeah.
yeah, it was good. Um, but yeah, it definitely plays into generational curses. And honestly, I feel like when it comes to generational wealth and generational curses, like you can't get rid of a generational curse with money. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's a mentality.
That is
You
like
have to
that's
want to do different, want to be better
mhm.
in order to break those generational curses.
Right.
Otherwise, the cycle continues to
Continues.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah, because breaking generation curses is breaking the cycle that's within your bloodline or within your culture in general. And that could be anywhere, like you said, an array of things like from just negative trends, violence, drugs, traumatic experiences, sin. It can even be financial struggles because
Yeah.
living in poverty, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, again, when you see something your whole life, you
Hmm.
see a struggle your whole life, you see drug dealers or whatever the case, whatever it may be, you're molested as a child, yeah, all types of stuff. When you
Hmm.
see it happening your entire life,
Hmm.
it takes an individual to say, I'm not doing this. I don't want
Hmm.
this shit to keep on happening. I'm
And
not about to be a part of it.
the crazy part about it is when when that one person decides to remove themselves from the cycle, they're looked at as crazy, or they're
Oh yeah,
looked
they're
at as
weird.
the black sheep, like because they don't want to
Hmm.
follow those
Oh yeah,
the same
most
cycle.
definitely.
And I feel like honestly, let's focus on the culture part of it for a second.
Okay.
When it comes to generational curses, uh in a cultural aspect of it, I mean, we're all affected by that. I
Hmm.
mean, we had what we needed. We were making a name, I guess you would want to say, for ourselves as black people. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Hmm.
And it was
Okay,
stripped from us.
I do want to apologize because A Thousand Years a Slave was not the name of the book. The book was actually called The Willie Lynch Letter. And I know like more majority of people have heard of that, the Willie Lynch Letter. And it's
Hmm.
basically the making of a slave. So the making and keeping of a slave. And the reason why I said 1,000 years, because in the book it actually states, he actually say, if you want to make a slave, break a slave, and pretty much control the black, slaves, but he said the other word, for he's like, I can teach you how to control them and also how to keep them in that same mindset for 1,000 years and so on and so on. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And pretty much he talked about how you break them, you breed them and break them like a where you take the strongest horse, the strongest stallion, you break them down in front of everybody else, and then it makes everybody else scared of you because you don't broke down the biggest and tallest and strongest man, or
Right.
that there is. And then you
Mhm.
take the men out the house, and you be kind to the women, and you make the women feel like they can depend on you, and they can um they could yeah that they can depend on you and they
What
can
that
trust
sound
you.
like?
Like welfare, like
Like Uncle
Government
Section 8,
Sam.
assistance,
like
yeah, because they don't
you know what
let
I
men
mean.
on government assistance. Let's be real. You can have all
Right.
your
I mean,
kids.
they
A mother
do,
could be
but it takes
deadbeat.
it's
It
harder.
takes them
Mhm.
a
It's
lot
harder.
harder, and by that
Hmm.
point, they're saying forget it. They already believe the system is not on their side.
Right.
Why
Then
am I
not
going
only
to
that,
apply
that's
for
why a
these things?
majority of the black men, do you know, back in the day, it was illegal for a group of blacks
Yeah,
to walk down the street in more than a group of five, or more in a group. You could
And
not walk.
to
It was
be
illegal,
honest, it's still
and
like that. Like
yeah.
black
Oh
people
yeah,
walk
get
it
down
put
in a
and
group,
stitches. They get to
police are
want to
gonna
and
who's
you will
going to
go to
protect
prison.
IDs. Yeah,
Yes. And the prisons, the reason why they do that is because in the prisons they get free labor. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And what is that like?
Mhm.
Slavery. And what
It's a
and what? It's
business.
justified slavery at this time because of the simple fact, oh no, you broke the law, so now
yeah.
you took them out of the household. So I do believe that it does
Yeah.
break that bond within the black household. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So now they don't know
Mhm.
how to be a provider because they never seen their dad how to be the provider or
Right.
anything in that sorts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also with the women, it makes us feel like we have to be strong. We get that strong mentality. We have to do
Mhm.
everything on our own. We have to
Mhm.
do this because we're strong black women. We're not allowed to be soft. We're not allowed to give in. We can do this with or without a man. Whoop de whoop, wop de whoop. Like, and that's what we were taught after like time
Absolutely.
after time after time.
Generation
Yeah.
Now
after
we get
generation. Mhm.
we teach our children how to be scared of their skin. You know what I mean? Because you are
Mhm.
black, you have to do things certain ways. Because you are black,
Hmm.
you have to move a
Or you
certain way. You
can't
have to
do.
think
Right.
a
Yep.
certain way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You have to it's just like that's something that was bred into us, put in our heads,
Right.
you know what I mean? But
Like
if you
we can't
trust the
even
white man
wear
and
we can't even wear our hair
you
a
know
certain way. We
we
can't
just
dress a
been
Because it's
able
certain
to
not
do
way.
stuff like that.
professional.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, we just been able. They just passed the law, and I
That we
mean
can
in
wear our
2000
hair.
something
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
we can wear our hair in a professional way. You know what I mean? Like
Well, they
without
Yeah.
couldn't
having to
hire us.
straighten
They
it or
couldn't. They could.
anything.
It made it illegal for them to
Not
not
hire us
hire
based
us
off of.
because of what our hair
Hmm.
was. Yeah. Isn't that
Exactly.
Yep.
crazy? I
No,
mean, think about
I've
it. Like what?
experienced that in an interview. Like this lady, I wore my hair up, how I usually wear it like in my last videos. I wore it up like that in my job interview and I could see the lady just kept looking at my hair. Like and as
Yeah.
I'm talking to her, as I'm delivering myself to her, I'm doing everything else right, but she just keeps looking at my hair.
Yeah.
Mm. And
I
it's
make it
funny
a
because I was
point to
watching
go to
this
my interviews with my natural hair.
natural hair. I mean,
Absolutely. And when I had
I ain't got no
locks,
choice,
yeah, I'm about to
baby.
say
I
when I had locks, I just cut my locks less than 6 months ago, something like that. But when I had my locks, oh yeah, because who was what?
Yeah, because where they
Yeah,
about to
because
go?
this is what you
I wish you
get.
would tell me I had to. You're not about to tell me I had to cut my babies, not my
But see, that's
lockers.
the thing.
Nope.
They're okay with, and I don't think that it's the locks. I really do think
Yeah,
that it's just the natural hair in
natural
general.
hair.
They're
Cause
not
Yeah,
used
no,
to.
they don't like natural hair. They look at it and they don't see it as professional. Oh, do you straighten it? Can you straighten it?
Mhm.
I always
mhm.
get questioned about my beads. They always question me about my beads. I don't been having these in for years, and they're always like, "Oh, I like that. That is so unique. How do you sleep with
Mhm.
that? Can you take it off?" No, I can, but I'm not gonna.
Right.
Like,
It's
I
just
don't even know if I
wild.
can now, but yeah, I'm not gonna. So it's either take it or leave it. Y'all gonna be really
Yeah.
amazed when I'm about to do to my hair next, cause it's about to be a whole lot of beating. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely wild how those generational curses even, and it's so crazy what our ancestors had to go through and that we're still feeling it.
Still, and I
Still,
feel
and
like
I think
Hmm.
that's what really makes me upset about
mhm,
where things I mean, don't get me wrong, we've progressed a lot, so I don't want to take away from, where we are from where we came from, you know what I'm saying? But I
mhm,
don't think that we think enough. as a culture about what our ancestors went through.
Right.
So a lot of the
Mhm.
nowadays, and I
I
do it sometimes too,
mean,
where I think like, damn, like everything doesn't have to be about race, but it does sometimes. Like sometimes it is
Mhm.
necessary to think about
it
that
Because
because they
definitely is.
still try
our
to play in your face.
yeah, our ancestors protested, they got beat, they went through a lot of stuff just
And
for
they want to
us to
throw it
turn
under the
around.
rug.
Like
Yeah,
they fought for the life that we're living right now. And a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that we do is kind of shameful to them.
It's not
Like
shameful because if you actually think about it, this is how my grandfather actually said it. Yes, it's like different for them, but a lot of our history is swept under the rug. We don't
because we
know
have the
about our
freedom to
history
do
like
these
that.
things
We're
too.
not
Mhm.
we're not teaching it in our household as much as we should, like they used to do back in the
Mhm.
days. You know what I mean? We're not sitting up there passing it on to the because so it does fall on us for one, but it also falls on the fact that we know that this society is not for us and we're allowing them to like not,
Mhm.
incorporated more in school or anything. We got to understand that when we do build communities and we do try to do right, it does get like it's like a slap in the face because then boom, they build lakes over it. They build like parks and they build ball games and ball stadiums over what used to be our home. It wasn't just
With
Black
our
Wall Street that got
history.
affected. It was a
Mhm.
lot of places
Mhm.
that got like Lanier. That's in Georgia. So we learned about Lake
Oh
Lanier
yeah.
while I was in school in Georgia. They call it the cursed lake because a lot of people, especially whiter people, they sit up there and they die at
Did you
Lake
say
Lanier
whiter
because
people?
yeah, it surely did. It's like girl, look at a lot of people die
Yeah.
there, and it's weird because they literally built that lake on top of like a whole civilization of Black people. Like they did not care. They told
It's kind of
you
like
to leave. If you did not leave, you
mhm.
were getting flooded. Like
It's kind of like that show Love Country or Country Love.
oh, Lovecraft Country,
Yes,
Yes.
Lovecraft
yes. And you
Country.
know
That
they
is
only
my
did one
show
season. Stuff was getting
season, but
way
it
too
hit.
real.
But it hit.
Very. It
It
And
was.
hit
I wanted
very
them to do
hard, and it
another
was
one.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god! If only I could get a few more seasons of that. Boy, I'm trying to tell you
Just a few. Just go
that
ahead and
first
bring him
one
back
was just
alive. Y'all know y'all can. And let's do them seasons, okay? Like, cause
Yes.
yeah, that
Because
season
that
was
was
everything, okay?
very heavy,
But if you
very
think about it,
deep.
I guess that is when I mean we could talk about generational curses within our own families, but I think it's outside. It's more than just the
The
curse being within
family.
our families.
It's
It's
the
our
whole
Hmm.
culture.
culture.
Mhm.
The culture, cause I mean, our culture actually, like, it actually affects how our family how the generation curse affect our family. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Again, we were taught to be strong Black women, and then if you were in a marriage, you were taught to let your husband be the provider, be quiet, put your head between your legs, and just let him do whatever he wants to, along he was providing for the house. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And those are two like I don't think we ever found a
I
middle
feel you, but I
ground.
think that's such
Because that's a
a.
lot
I
of
think that's a
westernized culture. That's the
yeah.
other people's culture. That's not even our culture. We came
And
from
But
honestly, I
Africa.
don't think that. I think that
Like our whole
there were
culture
a
was
lot of
stripped
good
from
different.
us.
men.
But guess what? We didn't get to learn nothing. People can go take their ancestry, whatever history, and they can learn about like, oh, my culture, we used to do this and we used to do that. My great
Mhm.
grandmother used to do that,
We
and
can't
used to.
even say that.
My great
Well,
grandmother would
because we
sit up
were
there.
stripped from our
Yeah,
homeland.
Yeah,
my great
exactly.
great great my great 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 grandmother was on somebody's ship. So I don't know what to tell you. You know, and it's funny because I did have this conversation with one of my friends, and she's African, and she was like, "Well, yeah, like." Because she didn't understand why Americans complain, and then Black Americans, my bad, complain about a lot of stuff. She was like, I was like, well, do you know your history? I was like, do you know your history? She was like, yeah. I was like, you know your great 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 grandmother? She was like, yeah, they're still in her homeland. I'm like, oh, okay, so you can actively still go back there. You know your culture? She was like, yeah. That's why we're complaining because we don't know we don't know any
Yeah,
of
and
that.
we
You know what
can't
I mean?
even
We're
go back to our homeland. Like we don't even know our
you know what I mean?
language of our homeland.
Well, and here's the thing about that because my mom, she did an ancestry for for her whole family, if you want to be real with it, she got a lot of our family involved with it. I mean, cousins took it, grandparents taking it. I learned a lot about myself, and she found out where we were from, the language we spoke. She found out a lot of stuff. Now, I'm a little skeptical about it, if I'm gonna be honest with you,
Yeah.
because who runs Ancestry? But it was, I mean, it was interesting nonetheless, but it doesn't make up for the fact that we were taken from our home and brought over
We
here, and
wasn't taught
now
anything.
And then they didn't even
now
take
the
us
people
back.
who stole, yeah, and then
Right.
and they got the nerve to tell us to
They
go
didn't
back.
even have
But
courtesy.
the people who were stolen from their homelands, their generations, that tide has been broken because, like you said, we're in the wet. We have different shit going on now. We don't know where we're coming from. We've been westernized. We got all of these different mindsets and
Anytime we try
opinions
to
and
overcome, we getting hit with crack, we
yeah.
getting hit with guns, we getting hit with like so many
Violence,
stuff in our
all the
community.
stuff.
And a lot of
Racism.
people who sitting up there Crips and Bloods, they not even knowing that was actually to protect the
To
community,
protect
not
Yeah,
the
to
well,
go against
city.
each
yeah.
other.
Y'all supposed to be
Like, you know what I
together.
mean? Y'all was supposed to protect from the police. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sitting up there bringing stuff
But it's
inside y'all
wild
hood,
because they
but y'all
found,
taking it.
you want to be real, they found every way to break us, and we
Mhm.
let it happen.
Mhm.
The
It's
Black
not so much that we
Panthers,
let it happen.
the
It's just
black, no, think about it
They
though. Be
destroyed the
real.
Black
Think about it. They
Panthers.
destroyed it. You understand what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it in a bad way, like I expected for them to continue to get beat
I
up or
mean, if you
whatever the
keep,
case
yeah, I'm
may
about to
be.
say,
I
you
mean,
Yeah.
it's
keep getting beaten,
torture.
you
It's
gonna,
torture.
a lot of people
But
gonna get scared.
absolutely,
You
that's what
know,
I'm saying. But who did that benefit? Don't get me wrong. I don't mean because we did gain a lot from it. So I don't mean we got no benefit from it. Don't get me wrong. I just mean they tortured us so much and they put us through so much that it ultimately either disappeared or we ended up separating and becoming
And
enemies of each other in some way.
Mhm.
We
let me
accepted
let me
it.
ask y'all
Mhm.
something. Y'all think what is it called? Integration. Y'all think that was a black man's idea? Y'all really think that was Martin Luther King's idea?
Integration, segregation,
He wanted us to be
integration.
equal, but I don't know if he wanted us to integrate. He just wanted us
I
to
about to say
be on
this.
the
He wanted us
same
to not be
level.
treated. Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't.
Do y'all
And I
think that
think
was
that's what
his idea?
also
Like, cause okay,
you think, you
what I'm
said a
saying is,
white
do
man
y'all
gave us
think
the
that he's?
idea to do it?
I'm saying that it benefited them more with their economy than it did for us.
Because they could
Well,
continue to
And
yeah, a little
control
bit of
us.
money. Yeah,
everything
of
is
course. They gonna want
yeah.
our
I'm
money
about
and
to say
stuff circulating between us.
everything is a game of chess. You know what I mean? And how do
Yeah.
you get the black to actually go behind something? You have a black speaker. They do that to this day. If they
Yeah.
want something done, they're gonna have a rapper, your favorite actress, black actress. They're gonna have your most pro-looking black person. They say it in like almost every movie where they want an influential, like Undercover Brother. I
They
don't know
do
if
it
y'all
in
remember that.
music. They do it
You
in
know what I mean?
music.
With Undercover Brother, how they
Mhm.
wanted them to be mind controlled, so they put the black general that wanted everybody to look up to. They put him on the chicken commercial. What people
Mhm.
start doing? Buying chicken because he's on it. So yes, I
Mhm.
do feel like there was an agenda having Martin Luther King go, out public. I had a dream, that's the reason, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, why they actually keep that in school for us to learn.
That's
You know
because
what I
They
he
mean?
go
wanted
they
Out of
go
a
over
every,
4
people in school nowadays. They go over Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks,
but they don't go over Malcolm
Jackie
X
Robinson,
or
no, they
Huey,
don't go against anybody who was against
Black
their
Harriet
agenda.
Panthers.
It's
Tubman.
always something that's going to benefit their
That's
agendas.
peaceful because
And
they don't want us to rile up.
mhm,
They don't want us
Yeah,
to.
because
yeah,
we're stronger in numbers. All right, like we
Mhm.
are as a unit.
Because if
because
Boy,
when
if
you
we
start
really
talking sense,
unified, collected our money, only put money into our community, theirs would fall. Because we're the highest
oh,
consumers.
absolutely.
yes.
Because who does that? If you look at every other minority group, they all do it. All of them except
Yeah.
us.
Everyone but
All
us.
of
Yeah.
them except
Yes.
Because
us.
Asians
Like,
keep their money in their community. Jews keep their money in
Hispanics,
their community.
Middle
Hispanics keep their money in
Hispanics,
Eastern.
their
definitely.
community.
Girl, they keep it in the household community, okay?
Hmm.
Because stop playing with them. Like, yeah, everybody who came here.
And
And it's
we
so funny
just
because
And we just
go ahead.
accept just sorry. Who's speaking?
No,
No,
Queen?
y'all
Cutie,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I
I'm
was
with
gonna
it.
say,
Like,
and what really kind of upsets me in our culture is we judge about everything. We got a black owned business. Now we're complaining your prices are too high.
Mm-hmm.
Give me it, and I
mhm,
feel it. Give me a discount. Why is it so expensive? But how? Like, come on. For us to make it back ours, this is what we have to do, and we also have to get
mhm,
in the mindset of having our own businesses so that we can build that generational wealth. And it's hard to
mhm,
build generational wealth when you have nothing. You don't know where, because you're so used to seeing the struggle. You don't know where to
Where to
start. Where is step
start?
one at?
Mm-hmm.
Where is
because
Yeah.
step
not
one,
knowing
and where
that
does
we
that
can
money
actually
come from?
exactly. I was just about to say that we can start jobs if we start getting businesses. We can
Right.
create
Absolutely.
jobs to where you're getting paid what you feel like you should be
Right.
getting paid. We can do that within our community
We
if we put
can.
Yep.
our money in
Mm-hmm.
our community. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
But
There's
Mm-hmm.
a reason why,
it's so
like,
much more than that, because banks don't want to give us loans.
They don't.
oh
And
no,
you
they're
have
not.
to start somewhere.
Actually,
You can't
I
start
forgot who
nowhere with
said
no
it.
money.
I forgot who said it, but they was like the interest rate for black, especially black women or black, in general, black people, the interest or minorities, period, are higher unless you came over
Yeah.
here with a business grant, which usually like the Arabs, Asians, Africans, they all kind of come out here with business like grant. And it's funny because we're still waiting on our 40 acres in a mule.
Yeah,
Like
but
I don't know
where's
about
our
anybody
business
else,
grant?
but
where where
where's our
where's
school grants? You
where's
know what I
that
mean? Like,
for us?
see, I
And
just
it
For
just
your
forgot
own
makes
about
it
that.
harder
community.
because I feel like in order for us to make a profit, we have to charge the prices that we charge. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. And in order for
And we
our
have to
business to
support.
grow,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, in order for our businesses to grow so that we can provide jobs, because here's my biggest thing, and I've been saying this for years. I'm not trying to work for nobody to make them more money just to I'm for nothing. It's not benefit. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not overall benefiting me in no way. I was just talking to Bay about this earlier. He had made up a valid point, and I was saying, well, jobs provide you with a 401k, Social Security, all that good stuff. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, for they benefit, that's how they get you in the door. Yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's
That's
true.
exactly how
That's
they
how
get
they
you.
get you to
And at
stay.
what age? And at what age are people retiring now?
In their
Yeah, like
60s,
in their
70s.
60s,
Bullshit. They
65s.
not. A lot of people not even retiring. They can't afford to. Think about it. The cost of living has gone up tremendously.
Yeah, because they've been
No,
taken
They
out of
can't
we
their
go
won't
back
we
there.
won't be
401k.
able
They're probably
we
owing
won't be
on
able
their
to afford it.
401k.
You know what I mean? We won't be able to afford it. People who
Yeah.
worked back then, they're
Yeah.
able to afford to retire because they were saving from earlier before,
Right.
they done bought
Yeah.
their houses and stuff like that.
But
Our
us,
generation will not be able
we're
to
taking
retire
out
by
of our
65.
yeah, because we're taking out of our 401k early. We
Okay,
still
to
You
paying
pay
the
bills
have
tax.
to.
now.
You
We have
have
to
to
pay
Yeah.
bills
nowadays. You
now.
don't have a choice to, or you're out on the
Hmm.
streets. And the Lord
Exactly.
knows, by the
Mhm.
time you out on the streets, you really ain't got nobody to support then. Because
Hmm.
the people's mindset is, if you're homeless because you abuse
You're,
substance, you are a drug,
Lazy.
yeah,
hmm
you're
You're
on drugs and
lazy.
you're
You're
alcohol,
lazy.
you're
and
You
lazy.
don't want to
Can't
it's
do
do.
not because of
nothing.
that. A
It's
lot of people
not.
are homeless because they don't have a choice. I
That's
mean, think
true.
Mhm.
about it. The start pay, a lot of people, a lot of jobs are, a lot of companies are still, their starting pay is still $14 an
Like
hour.
not even
Right.
that. Some jobs are still
And
at below
at
minimum wage, like
$10,
$7,
$8.
$10. Like,
I'm like,
yeah,
how are you
like
supposed to survive on $8 an
You
hour?
can't survive on 14.
girl,
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
fourteen
like
What
dollars
are
an
we
hour.
doing?
16, even 16,
no,
$17 an
yeah, I'm about
hour.
to say you have to be very frugal and smart with your money if you're surviving off of 14.
Well, and here's my thought process, and I can only tell.
Like,
Now, part of this is the reason why I left. I came out here from Dallas, so part of this is the reason why I left Dallas, because them prices was coming up, baby. Okay, but I'm in North Carolina now, and for a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment, you're still looking at like 16, 17, sometimes $1,800. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like they're trying to keep you in the hood, but do your math. $14 an hour times 80, and you got to make 3 times the rent.
that's crazy. They went and started doing that. I'm
So
like, I
where
remember when all
these
you
people
had to
that's
do,
making $14 an hour, where they supposed to be at? Where they supposed
They
to be
probably, who
living?
knows? They probably got roommates or something.
Hmm.
But I don't,
yeah,
who wants to do
and
that?
some
And
I
then these
actually do.
jobs that pay
I
less,
have
you be
my
stressing
my
more.
homegirl. I'm like, I've been talking to her about it. It's like, girl, let's just go have fun a house, and yeah, because me and her getting
Yeah.
along. We both got children. You know what I mean? It's like I don't mind nobody being in the house with me. Me personally, I just don't want it to be no male substance in my house. Because they irritate me, girl. They irritate my soul. They don't clean up. They don't. It's like having a big old man child sometimes. So, but
I
yeah, I've
was
been talking to my
blessed. If anything,
homegirl.
my man be getting on my tail.
Yeah.
I'll be like, Lord Jesus, he got
Ooh,
OCD. Like this thing and
yeah.
that. You remember I was on the phone with Love earlier today, and he came in here talking about, did you leave the onion powder on the
Oh
dryer?
yeah.
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I probably did, but I was cooking and I went to go put something inside the dryer. You know my OCD. I don't know why the onion powder is on top of the dryer. And I'm like, I get it. It wasn't on
Yeah.
purpose. I went in there
Nah.
seasoning the fucking clothes.
I can
Like,
relate because my guy is the same way. He a neat freak. I can't even lie.
Lord Jesus.
You
I was
put
like,
a shirt on the
okay.
couch and he gonna be like, "Why that shirt on the couch? Go put it
See,
away."
okay, because I know how
My
some
point
Africans
is, it's
and
men out here who's
they
not
like
like
clean
that.
up.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
back to the topic, because we can go down that road and be down that
yeah.
road
But
for
yeah,
a
I asked my
minute.
homegirl. I was like, do you want to go? Have fun in the house, like, shoot, because you
Mhm.
pay half bills, I pay half. That for me, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because my lifestyle, how I like to live, so
And
it's
listen,
like, yeah,
it may, but it shouldn't
It shouldn't
have
have to be
to.
like
They're
that.
it
raising the
shouldn't have
prices
to.
of food. You know how expensive food is nowadays?
Know
They're
how
raising
much
the price
chicken
of
costs
food.
Yeah,
now?
I pay it in cash. I definitely know. I'm hating right now. I promise you, everybody who got food stamps, I'm hating on them so bad right now because I done applied and got denied. If y'all looking at this food stamp company, you're gonna get another application coming, okay? Because y'all got me messed up.
Yeah, for real. Everything is
Cause
high
what?
nowadays. It's
Very
Girl,
hard.
I
high.
almost
It's hard for us to even get in the process to produce, to start the process of producing generational wealth when hell we
mhm.
can't get
We're
off our feet
starting
because we
from
gotta.
ground zero, basically.
Zero,
Oh yeah,
And
exactly.
then we got
compared to
all these
people who's had it
debts.
passed down.
And we got,
I
yeah, they have
mean,
it passed down. They learn
that's how
about
slavery
how
was.
to they learn about how to invest in stocks, learn about credit. I didn't even know anything
Oh, they
about
learn all
credit.
that in private school, girl. They learn that in
Yes.
No,
private school
I
growing
don't agree with
up.
that. I don't believe they learned it in private school. I really do
They do.
think
My
They
that.
brother
learned
went to
it
private
from their
school.
I really, yeah,
family.
that
They
may have been
learned
your
they
brother, but I don't think that that's just
Yeah,
in
they learn
general
it
where
in
people
private
learned it
school.
from.
They learn it with their family. They learn it with
Mhm.
their
No,
parents'
that's my point.
business.
That's my point.
They learn it from growing up in a young age. They learn how to actually, be
That's my
wealthy.
Yeah.
point. They
Yeah.
it gets passed down
They're
from
taught to,
families. I just don't think
hey, you
that.
marry. When I worked at the country club, when you marry, like when they're doing like country what they call it, where they go dance and stuff, like a ball, almost a debutante. When they're doing that, they're matching their daughters and their sons up to other people who are teaching their
Mhm.
children at a young age. And I mean like 6 years old type stuff. They're already teaching them in their head, yeah, you're going to be a doctor. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
going to be a doctor, and they send them to schools for that. They send them to private tutors for that. They teach them certain things, so when they're in the debutante, they know how to sing, they know how to dance, they know how to play the piano, they know how to do violin, they know how to do everything, so they're courting their women. But they're teaching them how to marry within wealthy families. You know what I mean? You're not going to
Mhm.
marry you're not about to marry little Becky across the street. No, she don't her parents don't even hold the job down. You're going to marry this successful architected daughter who has a doctor as a wife, and she's going to school to be such and such, you know what I mean? And that's how they keep their generational wealth together. You know what I mean? They marry their daughters off to somebody, or they marry their son off to
A lot of
somebody who's
cultures do
already
that.
wealthy.
Yeah. A
A
lot
lot of
of
But
cultures do
cultures,
ours,
that.
but ours,
but
yeah.
ours.
Well, again, we didn't have too much of a choice because we are
Yeah.
not in our
We're
natural
starting from
habitat.
ground
We
But
zero.
started
my
off.
grandmother tried to marry me
Okay.
off to any type of militarian and military. I was up there like, yo,
And that's
I
the
just
thing too. A lot
graduated.
of people within the
I'm
military, they get
18.
married to each other so that they have
And
different
they can
benefits.
continue.
And that was my
And
point, and
see,
why I said I don't believe that it's just in private school, because we didn't know a lot about credit, but it also came from our environment. We weren't worried about credit. We just
Yeah.
hopped on this credit chain with noticing and knowing how much credit is important
Yeah.
for ourselves, but it wasn't something we
It
could be
was
worried
already,
about. We
we were
but
already
the
in
reason
debt.
why I brought
When
up
you check your
school, the
credit,
reason
you
why I
probably already
brought
in
up
debt.
school, because
Exactly.
with private school, they teach you finances, they teach you credit, they teach you stock, they teach you everything that you're going to need to know to rule the business world,
But how much
business
does
aspect of it,
private
right?
school
And
cost?
public,
Well, not
hold
even
on, wait,
that,
but I'm
but
saying in public school, let me finish. In public school, they teach you how to work in a factory system. That is one of the reasons why they came up with school. I forgot who was the actual inventor of school, but he did a 12-hour school day to get workers ready. This is the what they said, to get factories workers ready to start working. They know how to clock in on time. They know how to do their homework and get it in on time. They study production and everything like that. In private school, they're not doing that. They're studying finance. They're studying how to get us public school people into work, how to make sure we work and run their businesses. You know what I mean? That's why I brought it up, because that is part of their generation. That is
And
part of why they
then,
still have their generational worth.
and then,
Oh, well,
yeah. And then in our cultures, they don't even offer us higher education. Like in our
no, they don't.
community, like you're getting the bottom crumbs of the education. You don't even get the right textbooks, the right materials that you need. So how are we
but that
supposed to
came again.
progress?
That
So
yeah, that came
my
back
brother
from
grew
way
up.
when too, with the schools being segregated and stuff. The white kids always
Mm-hmm.
had
Oh yeah,
better books and stuff,
computers
More.
and
went
our books were grades
raggedy.
behind.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were grades behind,
Yeah.
and I just feel like, because here's the thing, like I just don't want to put out the image that or a belief in, for me, that black people were not, that we weren't given these things either. You know what I'm saying? I do
Mhm.
believe that there were families who had a different experience, who didn't grow up in a certain way. They had the knowledge of credit, they had the knowledge of having businesses and stuff like that without going to private school, or without having, learning or being, learning certain things. Because we can be real, public schools, they used to give us a lot of stuff that they don't give us anymore. We used to
Mhm.
have knitting classes, we used to have I don't know, because
Home
I
ec
got my
classes,
GED
Yeah,
early, but
classes.
home
yeah,
economics.
they used to
Teach you how
actually
to
teach
cook.
us
It's
some
like
stuff.
right. It's classes to teach.
Yeah,
Okay,
they used to give us
sorry.
a lot of options for extracurricular stuff. I know they had sewing
Mhm.
classes, they
Yeah.
had
Like
more than just
domesticated
choir, band,
options.
stuff like that. They had baking, they had economics, they had stuff like that in public school too. I think the problem came in with voting. We weren't voting the way that we should have been voting. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, our votes don't matter," da 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 da. But now that I'm an adult and I see what happens when you don't, it does matter, y'all. Not only that, but our ancestors fought for us to be able to have these things too. And I think that's part of the reason why we don't have as much access to certain things either. Because now we done gave these people control over what our children are learning, what our
Mhm.
children get to experience. We gave them control over that
Mhm.
because we didn't put our foot down and speak up when it was time for us to do so. You know what I'm saying?
But it also goes into like back into the environment. Like
Mm-hmm.
you living in the hood, teachers probably don't want to work there, to be honest. Kids don't even want to go to school there because they're trying to be recruited in the streets. So I feel like it starts within our
The
community.
streets raised
That's what
me.
Lil Wayne said. Lil Wayne said his mama saw him putting a gun in his book bag, and she was like, "You need that for school?" And he was like, "You want me to take it?" And she was like, she thought about it. She was like, "Yeah, go ahead and take it." He said she came back a few minutes later and was like, "You're not going back to school. I'm gonna have you go get your GED and call it a day."
Yeah, because I grew up in the hood initially, and the education I was getting, like I was getting into fights at a very young age. And then my mom moved us to a neighborhood to where I can get a higher level education, and I did. And they tried to keep me back because of what I was
Mm-hmm.
learning at my school in the hood wasn't the same curriculum as I was learning
Mm-hmm.
in this new neighborhood. So the equality is very different.
See, I was the army brat. My mom, I moved a lot, but I've
Mhm.
never been in the hood. I've
Mhm.
always had a suburban lifestyle. I've always been in public school.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think that that also boils down to generational curses. I have family members who grew up in the hood.
Mhm.
Our lifestyles are different. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But we were all in public school.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I lived in certain neighborhoods, or again, I had public school education. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can look at people who we went to school with and see that that
Mhm.
lifestyle, their lifestyles are different. That's the mindset. You
Yeah.
have to want better in order to do better. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Yeah.
change your own mindset for you to break certain curses within your household. But we also have to have the ability to provide generational wealth for our children as well. And that
Yeah.
shit is hard.
It's very hard because now we have to actually learn, start from scratch and learn how
Mhm.
to build that wealth,
And
how to.
not to mention, a lot of that stuff you got to go to school for. Who has enough? I mean, school and work. I know people. I have kids, and I know it's hard for me. But I know people who don't have kids, and they're struggling trying
Stop
to go to school and work,
me,
barely making
me
it. You know what I'm saying?
right there. Because I
The
do.
world
I
is
go
just
to
not
school, I
built,
go
and
to
just
work, and it's hard out here. And I ain't
yeah,
got kids, and it's hard. And for my sisters that do got kids and working and going to school, it's twice as hard.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's all about balance, and I hate to say it because I do wish that our parents and grandparents and great grandparents could have set us up differently, but we don't know what they went through. We don't know what they had access to, how hard it was for them to be
Mhm.
able to give that to us. A lot of people are already born and set to have that. They're born with, and I think now, if you look on social media a lot now, is us, you know, teaching us how to get credit cards and keep up with credit cards and put our kids on our credit cards so that when
Mhm.
they get out into the world, they already have good credit. That's
Right.
generational work. That's starting them off good.
Yeah, that is because you need it nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went to private school when I was a little girl, so
Oh, you
I
did?
didn't start. Yeah, when I was when I was a little girl, so but then I went to public school afterwards, and
All
yeah,
right
it
then. So
was
don't say I don't know. I went to private school when I was a little
no,
girl. Okay.
I'm
You
being
went to
Right.
funny.
public school too, fool.
No, I went to public. Yeah, and it's yeah. When I say it was ghetto, I mean get head to the toe. But I had so much fun.
But
Like
not all public schools are ghetto.
Yeah.
Not all public schools are ghetto.
I
It's the
I don't
environment
see
that
my
you
fair.
in.
See my fair share. The ones that's not, they try to be, so it makes it even more ghetto. Like they be
That's
trying.
true.
Like I went to Bergner, and Bergner was not nowhere near the hood. Okay, it was in the suburbs. Okay, surrounded by a little white picket fence and nice little people who walk their dogs and go jogging around the park
But
every
that's
day.
also because
But Lord,
we got picked on. People get
when
picked
I
on for
I
acting
say
white, talking
people,
white.
no,
That's
no,
true.
no. When I say that people came in there trying to act like Malibu Most Wanted up in there, like they came in there trying to act like Malibu Most Wanted, talking about I'm blood this and I'm blood that. I ain't never seen you pop a grape or
Now, let
kill
me
a
ask you
fly.
this. Let me ask you this, because you went to a private school, you ended up going to a public school. How do you know that those people didn't come from those
From
type of
the hood,
areas
yeah.
and
Cause I
they ended up
did.
They
coming
didn't
to a
come. I grew
better?
up with them. First of all, I grew up with them. I know their
Okay.
mamas. Like they were my next door neighbors. Like
I
that's
feel
how
you,
Okay.
I
and
know.
I do get it. Some people do. Some people do that. I'm just saying. While I get
Yeah,
all
that's
of it,
like I
while I
said,
do get
Malibu
that,
Most Wanted. But like I was saying, like with that school and then going to an actual hood school, that you can tell the difference. The people that was in the hood wasn't even trying to act all hood. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have our occasional fights and stuff like that, but they were the smartest people. I'm not taking away from anybody by saying going to private school you learn different things in different curriculum versus public school. I'm not saying that they're dumber or they don't learn certain things. No, I'm not saying that at all. Most of the successful businessmen came from the hood because of the simple fact they did self-knowledge. They did learning by themselves. Or like Tupac said, his mom was part of the Black Panther, baby. His mom was a bit she was part of the movement. His daddy was a gangster. But he set up there and he was, I think he said he was homeschooled and he learned most of the stuff from his mama. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm not saying by far that if you go to a private school, you're better than somebody or you're smarter than somebody who went to a public school. That's not my
Yeah.
narrative because I
Right.
don't want nobody to think that's how I'm thinking because it's not. What I am saying is they are taught that in school, in private school, that is what that is what they want them to learn off the rip.
Financial literacy.
How to run their business. That is what
Yeah.
they're paying for. That is
Yeah.
why they pay for school because they're paying for the exact teaching that they want. I don't know if y'all
Right.
ever seen this show called Borders. It's on Tubi. If y'all haven't, look at it because that's exactly what it's about. It's about 5 little Black kids that got sent to a school, a private school, mainly for just white kids, and they sit up there and they got it because they were smart. You know, they was really smart, smarter than the other people in their rough neighborhood, and they had to transition and they was trying to, it's a good show. So like if y'all haven't seen it, it's good. And they teach you how different, the curriculum is, at what they can get away with, how much, and then the parents blowing like, oh no, I'm paying way too much, let them get out of this, let them get out, money talks. At the end of the day, if they're paying for the education, they're gonna make sure you teach them what they want you to teach them.
Oh,
They're gonna make sure you
absolutely.
treat them you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that they're lacking because of the simple fact we are getting, that makes us, in my opinion, smarter because we don't have all the access to the same information, but we're still getting it and we're still learning it.
Yeah.
We're
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 still
still finding
being
means to get
successful.
to it. Yeah, we're still finding means to get to it. Not only are we getting to it, but we're trying to share. Even now, especially with social media, we are trying to share it and we're trying to offer it to other people who did not know that same information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's good about social media is the fact that, okay, y'all, oh, did y'all know, let me show y'all how to, that's how it always start. The hey y'all, hey brothers and sisters, did y'all know that y'all can get this? Oh no, let me show y'all how to do this. Not the scam ones, but the actual like
Mhm.
Yeah, you gotta
like
sift
tutorials,
through
TikTok
the
tutorials. Yeah, you
frauds.
gotta, you gotta know, and I love that. And I love that about us because you don't have to give us fish and tell us how to fry it. We're gonna learn it. You know what
Period.
I mean? You can just give us a fish and tell us that's your fish. You don't have to
Hell,
tell us
you ain't
nothing.
got to
We're
give
going
me
to
the fish.
learn
Just tell me where they at.
what a
I be
water.
Right.
catching
You
and
know what
figuring it
I
out
mean?
myself. Okay.
That
Cause,
part.
it's just like after a while you get tired of being stuck, and when you're tired of being stuck, you're gonna find a way to get to where you want to be
Exactly.
at. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't think just because somebody went to private school that they better than him. Girl, no, they got more problems if you ask me, because they take advantage of the fact that that's mommy and daddy's money. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They know mommy and daddy's going to pay for their grades to be good. They know mommy and daddy's going to pay for them to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, they don't appreciate the things that we, would appreciate if we
It
were in
kind of
that
contradicts it
position.
if you're not gonna put in the work to keep it
Right.
going.
Right. Because it's like,
Exactly.
what's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
So yeah.
I hope that us collectively as a unit, our culture, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, all that good stuff. I definitely hope that we can come together at some point. You know what I'm saying? Start building our stuff back on, start supporting
Mhm.
each other so that we can
Man,
create
start
jobs for
buying
each
land.
other.
One thing, y'all, my papa brought some land. Y'all, when I say, okay, I'm the black sheep, right? Because I have my grandparents on my mother's side. They got money. They nice or whatever. I know, but it's fine. It's all good. We good. But they do a lot of smart moves, like as far as money goes. Family, but money, yeah. Like they brought land. They have land. You know what I mean? They're sitting on land. They have a house. They have 2 houses paid for. Theirs. You know what I mean? One house they give to family members whenever they need it or need a transitional place to stay. Right? they'll let you stay there. That's our neighborhood house on Adele Street. That's everybody knew that house because we grew up there, right? So they have that house for if you in need, if you need, like Medea, that movie Medea,
Mhm.
but they'll let you stay there. Like they will literally let you live there. They'll, just pay
Mhm.
us this much and then y'all good. They have land. They contemplate what they want to build on that land, but they still have it. I
Mhm.
would say buy land. Buy land. Like whenever you have a little extra income tax money or whatever, buy
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
land. You know
Yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
think
Like
that
instead of
goes
buying.
I think that goes into just being unified and
Yeah.
within your
Mhm.
family, within your culture, because a lot of families are disconnected. Like,
Yeah. And a lot of times they're disconnected because of hurt. And that goes back
mhm,
to that
Mhm.
generational curse.
mhm,
It has to
Yeah.
start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It has to start somewhere. I think that's why I'm so proud of my mom. You know what I'm saying? My
mhm,
mom is out here. She was a teenage mom. She had her first kid when she was 14.
mhm.
She had me, maybe she was 15. She had me when she was 20. She joined the military. She did what she had to do. She didn't go back to school until she was 40 something. She went back to school. She just graduated. Congratulations, mom. Good job. She just
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
graduated and she really inspired me. Keep in mind, I also had my first child at 15. A lot of my family members have had kids at a young age. And I'll be graduating next year. So for me,
You got
like
it. You got it.
that's our generational curse. Like having kids young out of wedlock and then just kind of sitting in it until a certain time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You're never too
Uh,
old, and B, it's never too late to start wanting better for yourself, for your families. And my mom is like,
Absolutely.
she's provided me with a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
we talked about all types. She's my inspiration to be doing. Y'all wait and see. I got a whole bunch of daggone projects coming up because at this point I
Oh,
refuse to work for somebody.
yeah.
I think it's
I
another
think next
generational
week.
curse on. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I think
Um,
you want to go.
yeah, just real quick because it ties into what I'm saying. I think that a lot of
It never fails.
also a generational curse was having children at a young age for Black women because my great grandmother
Mhm.
had my grandmother and her family when she was 15, and my grandmother had her family 15, 16, and then my mother had her first child 15, 16. That inspired me to get on birth control, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, cause that scared the mess out of me. I was like,
No,
wait
no
a minute.
lie, no lie, because I went to the hospital and, I was young and the doctor was like, are you on birth control? I was like, nah. She was like, you should get on it. You have a life, you have a future ahead of you. And so yeah, I did. I listened
Yeah,
to her
nah,
because nobody was teaching
cause
me that.
Right.
yeah, like, well, and see, my grandmother scared the mess out of me because cause it was me and my older cousin, and she's a girl too, so it was only us. We were the only two girls like around in that generation. So my grandmother, every time we go visit her, she play us like movies where girls are getting knocked
Yeah.
up at a young age and just going through hardship. I'm like, why are you showing us this? Like,
See, you
why?
want to know what messed me
But
up? You know what messed me up? And I should have never watched it because she made me feel like I can do whatever. Secret Life of a teenage mom, or a Secret Life
Oh
of,
yeah, I
you
remember
know what I'm talking
that.
about?
I remember
She
that
made me feel
show.
powerful. I said, oh well.
Cause she was
Not that
doing
I wouldn't
it.
do it
She
on
was doing
purpose,
a
but when it
thing.
happened, I was like,
yeah, it's
and
like
my
I
mom
couldn't
was very supportive. You know what I'm saying? My
Mhm.
mom gave
yeah,
me options, whatever. But like,
stop.
yeah, I never was scared to, and I think it's because I thought of my mom so highly. It's not like my mom didn't tell. My mom did teach me. She was like, "All right, you gonna be out here doing don't do this." And I was like, "Girl," I used to give her a hard time. I'd be like, "Girl, I'm not like you. I ain't about to have no kid." Caught one right out the same age. Same age. Matter of fact, had more kids than her by the time I turned 20
Oh goodness.
than she did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
Oh
but
man,
life
I
is
was
good, you know?
yeah. I was
girl,
I
I
was trying
remember
to
when I got
say
slick at the mouth.
sorry. I was trying
No,
to
you
say
good, go.
Go
next
ahead, go
week
ahead.
is Mother's Day or this weekend it's Mother's Day.
Sunday.
And
Sunday.
so I was thinking maybe, the mothers in our life or people that we saw, we look up to, grandmothers. Maybe we can interview them and do a segment like that.
I don't know if y'all ready for my mama. She a little raw.
Okay,
My
we'll
mama,
we'll just give a shout
my
out to the
mama raw as
moms.
hell. You hear me? I
We'll
don't
give
know
a
if the
shout
world is
out to
ready
the
for Miss
moms.
Kalima, honey.
Yeah, we'll just give a shout out to the moms there. Or
Maybe we can talk about, maybe give them praise, and maybe talk about some difficulties, some real stuff about being moms. You know what I'm saying? And the things that our mothers taught us. You can give them praises, especially with Mama Angela, like, lift her name up and all the stuff that because she did, the love she gave me, honey. Damn
yeah,
me, the love she gave my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. Like, I have a lot of women in my life that I could definitely say attributed to me being the amazing woman that I am. Because I am definitely, I am extremely blessed. So I would love to do that. And maybe then I'll let the kids, I ain't gonna let them pop on here, but I can talk a little shit about my kids too.
no,
So
but
yeah,
Big Mama,
we'll contribute
yeah,
Sunday's video to moms.
yeah, okay, we'll do that. But Big Mama, I thought your
I'm good on that, but
generational
okay.
curse
Okay,
that
but
you
you
want
got
to
kids. You
break,
can talk about you as a mom, fool. Go ahead.
right?
You do too much.
You are a
We weren't even gonna
mom.
bring that up. I was gonna skip
I'm
past
talking.
that.
No, I'm good with that. I'm talking about bringing moms in. I'm good. Like I want to meet y'all's, but I'm good on mine.
We're not bringing nobody's mama in. My
Yeah.
mama,
My
she'll
mom's
be all right.
passed away, so
Yeah, it's
oh,
okay.
I was
yeah.
saying like even women that like was mother like to you, like or
Yeah.
your grandmother.
No,
Not
because I heard you say interview and mom, and I was like,
You blamed everything
that,
else out.
yeah, everything else I said. But Big Mom, I thought your generational curse that you wanted to break was very beautiful. QD, do you have a generational curse within your bloodline that you wanna break?
I already broke it.
Don't come on here. I knew
I
you about
already
to say
broke
something.
it.
Don't come over here trying to be
No, I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about because okay, so my family has a tendency of, and it's gonna get a little dark, but letting their children, especially the little girls, get raped, molested, and stuff, and then brushing it under the rug, staying married, and moving on with their life, and then telling the daughters and the girls or whomever to just get over it and move on with their life and just, oh no, you gotta forget, just do that, and then still try to bring you around them. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna end all of that. So yeah, I already broke that. So
broken. Hello, amen.
and I spoke out, and they hated. They like I don't care what nobody say. My family did not like the fact that I spoke out. I can tell because every time I did, I always got like a little comment message in my inbox. Oh, you don't need to let the world know. I'm about to let everybody know. Okay. Like just in case somebody else is going through it, like they'll know. Okay, yeah, I went through it and I said something because a lot of people be too afraid to speak out about stuff like that.
That's
Baby, I'm not.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
You
Yeah,
know.
because somebody needs to hear it so that
Yeah.
they can break that curse as well. One of
All right.
mine
Being love, what would be
is
yours? So we just
my
throwing out everybody's shit today.
mine is I grew up with the abusive stepfather, and that trickled down into my brother, and you know in my bloodline. It just kept rolling after that. So I want to break that curse because it affected me. Like as a woman getting into my relationships, the first thing I would ask would be like, "Do you hit women? Do you abuse women?"
That's
Like, and
what I need to know.
I was asking that at like 15, 16 years old, asking young teenagers that because I was so mentally broken by that. So that's one of the generation curses I want to end. I do not believe a man should be putting their hands on a woman in any situation.
Amen. I think we can all take a fake cheers to that. So amen to breaking pound it. Amen to breaking those generational curses within our lines. What do y'all have planned, if anything, to bring generational wealth to you and your families?
Oh, my son already got a little
Definitely.
car for him. Building him up some credit now, and I'm not using his name on the light bills, electricity, cable.
Yes.
Hello.
Please stop
Okay.
doing that. Please
Well, they
stop
had to do
doing
what they had to
that.
do, man. They had to do what they had to do.
We
I
didn't need
don't I don't
cable.
fault them.
We
I
didn't
don't
need
fault them,
cable.
man.
Girl, I had a whole house that I got kicked out of at 18. Like, I didn't know my name was on the.
Okay,
I
well,
joke about
let's
that all the time
maybe
because
not for the ones who abused it negatively,
yeah, if you're not
but
building people's credit, if
yeah.
you're not buying something to actually build, because that's the thing. It's not like they brought the cable and the light bill to build the credit, because they were
Mhm.
messing it up more than anything. You know what I mean? They would
Mhm.
just keep switching names, switching names, switching names. So you
Mhm.
wasn't building nothing, you were breaking it. Now, if
I
your
think
intention is to build the credit, then yes, do that. But don't put your child name on something that you know you're gonna destroy their credit down the line. That's selfish and that's like irresponsible in my
your
opinion. I
generate
don't care.
yes. What do you plan on doing for you and your bloodline, your family?
I definitely want my kids to have the knowledge of financial wealth, building credit, building businesses. I want us to be unified. Like, I want us to be able to sit down in a room and talk about how we're gonna go to the next level as a family. Um, I want to start my own business so I don't have to work for nobody either. So I can have that lined up for my family. I'm going to school so I can get a better education and provide for my children when I have them.
Very good.
Wow.
For me, my process for creating generational wealth for my children, I have all boys, so so that they can become good providers and good men in general. I start off with doing it for myself. So, school, of course, to get that education. I know a lot of people don't feel like you have to have education, and I don't disagree with that. I just think it depends on what it is that you want to do in life. Um, I have a few ideas for some businesses I want to do. I will start counseling. I'll be graduating from school for that soon. So y'all keep that in mind. Um, and then, like you love, just teaching them. Actually, it's funny because, like I said, my mom just graduated from North Carolina Central University. Woo, 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 woo.
Woo.
And they had a speaker, and I wish I remember her name, but she was talking about financial literacy, and she was saying, um, the way you spend your money says a lot about you. And I just think she basically meant like be mindful of how you spend your money and what you spend your money on, because that's going to determine what type of life you set up for yourself. And it spoke volumes to me. So I'll be teaching my kids how to, which I do now anyway. If they get money, I try to tell them, no, you can't take it to school. No, you can't spend it on candy or whatever the stuff normal kids want to spend their stuff on, because it's going to be some, save your money up, save your money up for something that is going to be beneficial to you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Save your money so that you know, if I spend it now, it's going to be like, damn, I had it and now I got to wait for somebody else to get it. But if you have it in your pocket and you let your money build up, you have your own money to provide whatever it is that you want for yourself. And I feel like that's something really good to kind of instill in them. So that's my foundation.
Even when you have it, act broke.
Period. Period.
I
So
was
that's
always
my,
taught if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it at all.
yes, yes. And I
My
think that's been my
godmother,
biggest.
sorry,
Mm-hmm.
my
Hmm.
No, go
godmother
ahead.
taught me a beautiful thing about saving. She said, "Live below your means,"
Oh yeah.
meaning
Hmm.
like don't try to keep up with other people. Just
Keep up
live,
with the Joneses.
yeah, live where it's
Facts.
comfortable for
Because just
you.
because somebody else is able to do it doesn't mean that they're really able to do it. You don't
Mhm.
know what their pockets look like, what position they're in. It's just
Mhm.
like when you see people all this name brand stuff on, but they ain't got no car.
Right.
They're not
Yeah.
staying by themselves. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
just about
I
being
used to know
smart.
car crackers. I used to know car crackers, okay? And they used to be living lavishly, living great. And I'm like, okay, I can never do that personally to live good and lavishly. I mean, like, you got everything you want, but it would cost. You know what I mean?
I mean, but do
Yeah.
you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think that it's you have to be mindful of things like that. I know for me, I want the basic out of life. I want the best for my children so they can be great men for themselves and for their families. But for me, all I want is 4 or 5 bedroom house, a SUV, a play car with a garage, a nice backyard, and for my kids to be set up. I don't need a whole lot. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not asking, like the travel stuff will come with it, but
Mhm.
and to have my own businesses and all of those things will not happen if I don't put forth the effort to do it. Stuff doesn't just land in your lap, and it's not always just given to you. If you don't have it, if your family didn't have it to be passed down to you, you ain't got it.
Right. And that's
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
But you can
So
be
in
the
order
one
for
to
me to
build
give it
it.
to my people, I have to be
Mhm.
able to have it for myself so that my
Mhm.
children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren can say and have it in their minds, a place to stay. Because I would like to do what Cutie's grandparents have 2 houses, and y'all come in and out as y'all need to, as long as you're bettering yourself at the end of the day. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I enjoyed today's conversation, y'all.
I did
I
too.
think it's time to
Yes.
wrap this thing up.
Mhm.
Followers, do not forget to share, like,
Like,
subscribe.
subscribe. Yes.
What else is it? Is that it? Y'all do
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Spread the word, spread love, spread joy, spread good energy. Share these beautiful faces. And until next time, which is Sunday, I guess we'll be paying tribute to mothers of
Our
all
mamas.
kinds, ourselves as mothers, our mothers who are not who are no longer here. Just, we can speak about just the love that mom should have overall. And I love you, girls.
Love
You
Lay
you.
tuned.
all right.
Bye.
Again, we're
Bye.
unscripted. Love,
Love.
peace, and
Peace and
blessings.
blessings.
See y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, I like that.
Bye.